Hello and welcome back to Bricking It. Today we're going to be creating another one of our hidden interior scenes. Scenes we've already done include the Shrieking Shack, 12 Grimmauld Place and the Weasley's Kitchen. And now we're going to be working on the inside of the Lovegood house. So we have a bit of visual reference when the trio visit Zeno Lovegood during the Deathly Hallows. We're going to be just building the living room, although we get to see the kitchen in the movie. This is the room that we're going to be building. We're going to be stopping just as we get to the printing press here. So we're going to start on this side of the build. Here's our first wall. It's got a high up window. Got a few different textures of brick in there just to create the rough wall that they've got. And on this side of the room there is a display of past Quibbler covers, and as we've got a couple of tiles showing us past Quibbler covers, that's what I've decided to put up against this wall. Using these snot bricks to secure it in place, and more by luck than judgment I actually managed to get the feet perfectly level with the bottom of the wall, which was a happy accident. So that's our first wall in. I'm going to move around to this corner of the building now. And here's our first bit of wall. Now you can see there's this yellow paintwork up on the wall. That's obviously a piece of artwork done by Luna at some point, and I'll talk about this a bit more later. We've got this stack of papers here, and to make sure they had space to be rotated and messy, I had to use some round bricks to build these parts of the wall. Next to that we see a little proofreading desk. It's actually been built into the wall, so I can just use one half of these palisade bricks to form the legs. It's a very simple structure, and I think it's something that's going to need improvement in the future to make it look a bit more interesting. That's the first part of our wall now in place. I'm going to move on now to this centre section here, and this is going to be just a short piece, and this is just going to be the fireplace. So we've got the blue mantelpiece, and we've got the potbelly stove inside. Again, you see the mantelpiece built into the wall just to keep everything integrated, and some texture provided by different types of bricks, repurposed bricks from old sets. I'm just going to pop this cup from the CMF Potter on here to represent this little copper, I don't know, some kind of ink jug or something, and then we're using this dinosaur tail up on the mantelpiece, and that is going to give us a rampant horn, or the horn of the crumple-horned snorkack, if you share Zeno's beliefs. Last bit of the wall here, got this high up window as on the original build, and again our yellow paint with these textured bricks on. We've got a long stretch of blank wall here, so we're just going to fill in a little bit of the furniture that's in front of this wall. And sitting next to the fireplace and the original movie set, we've got this short sort of drawer unit, almost looks like a bedside cabinet. I'm just building up this little piece with a drawer, and on top of that it appears to be some kind of book press. Maybe he's assembling a covers collection. So we're making up this book press just with that jumper and one of these jumpers with bars. I'm going to one by one stud with a hole in, and that's to receive this T-bar, and that is going to form the basic shape of our book press, and that's going to go just like here alongside the fireplace. I'm going to leave most of the rest of that space blank, but we are going to pop this rug in front of the fireplace. And that's a stickered piece that I picked up off Bricklink, don't know where it came from. And I'm just going to intimate just the bit of the spiral staircase railings there. I chose to go with the railings instead of the coffee table, but I think I might change that up. I'm not so keen on the railings. So our last wall, again, textured bricks to provide a bit of structure. We're going to build our printing press now. So as we put the build together bit by bit, I originally thought this was a typesetting desk. Didn't realise it was actually the printing press. It seemed a bit small. But then with a bit of further research, I realised this is the printing press. And one element that I've actually left out of this build, which we'll talk about later, now that I know this is a printing press, makes me want to add it a little bit more. We're just forming up the base of the press. It's going to give us the bottom. And then it's got a kind of slanted work surface on it. So to build that, we're just going to get one of these 1x2 cheese slopes. And then over the top of that, we're just going to rest one of these tilt tables. Now, I didn't want to buy any new bricks, and the problem is with not buying new bricks and just using stuff from inventory, you find all the old ones with poor clutch power that you didn't want to use in other builds. So I'm going to have to upgrade my bricks at some point. Got one of these modified tiles with 2 studs on. This is going to form the upper part of the press. We appear to have, when we look at the reference photos, some kind of roller just to help the paper move through the press. So we're going to replicate that with these 2 clips and one of these 2 long bars. And it's just going to sit. My fat fingers can get it to stay there, just up the top there. That's a fairly good representation of our printing press. Let's add that in. There's a lot more junk in this corner of the room, so we're going to add a few more details. First thing we're going to do is add another stack of papers. It's just a stack of tiles with a plate on top, and that's replicating these piles by the side of the printing press. And in the corner we've got a filing cabinet, and that's simply made with a headlight brick with a 1x1 tile on the front, and then we just repeat that 3 times through our 3 drawer cabinet. It's going to stand here in the corner. Now, last bit of internal detail, just going to build up a bust of Rowena Ravenclaw, and to show that it's her, we're going to pop this on top. It's actually a very different beast in the books, but for now, as we can see in this photo, it's a fairly standard bust of Ravenclaw. Last couple of things to go in though are the armchairs. One for Hermione, and I like to think that's Luna's usual seat. And then we're going to build another one for Zeno. These are fairly easy to do. Just a bracket with an ingot, and then a couple of these half round tiles. They get mounted onto a base and replicated on the other side. And in the back is yet another bracket, this time just with a flat brown tile on. I'm just going to put one of these round-ended plates at the front, give it a shape to the cushion. And there's our second armchair, which I assume is Mr. Lovegood's usual spot. So there we go, that's all our internal detail for now. I may be adding to this in the future. Right now, let's see it with some minifigs in. So we need some seats added, because we've got extra guests around, so we put out the emergency chairs. And it looks like when we see the film that Harry's not got a back to his seat, so I've used this poof, and then Ron's just got a random blue chair. Hermione's in the armchair, and of course she's reading from the Tales of Beedle the Bard, and I've just used the dark hold to represent this. I'm pretty sure I've seen a Tales of Beedle the Bard custom made sticker, and I can't remember where I've seen it, so if you remember, if you've seen that sticker, drop me a comment so I can track it down. But for now, Hermione can be sitting in the corner with her evil spellbook. Haven't got a perfect figure for Ron for this. I'm just using the one that came in, I think it was the Astronomy Tower set. You see them sitting off in the distance, and as you can see, Harry's very close to Mr. Lovegood. He's going to sit him on his poof there, just facing towards Zeno. And of course we need the man himself, so here's my mock of Zeno Lovegood. The various parts I've used in this mock I'll be detailing in one of my upcoming Minifig Mondays. And he's just got a tile from the very last Harry Potter dot set that was released, giving us the symbol of the Deathly Hallows, just so we know what everyone's talking about. And that's the completed build. So let's talk about what's not here. So if we look at the set photos, you'll see Luna's been painting on the walls, and there's lots of interesting creatures included in her paintwork, and somehow I wanted to replicate that, but I just had no good way of doing it without looking just like random bricks. Also, what's missing is all of the rack work that allows the newspapers to pass overhead, and that would basically take up the upper portion of one side of the build, And while it's nice, and I kind of do want to add it in, A, I couldn't work out how to add it in, and B, it would just make viewing the scene a little bit more tricky, as well as storing it all away. So for now, I'm happy with what I've got, but I've got 2 or 3 maybe little mini projects to add into the MOC in the future. So there we go. So that's our build. Now usually I would show this being deconstructed and put into its book covers, but judging by the analytics on the previous 3 builds that were of a similar style, nobody sticks around to see that. So I'm going to save myself the time, the effort and the editing of putting it all away into a book cover. But if you'd like to see the process, you can have a look at the hidden scenes videos for the Shrieking Shack or 12 Grimmauld Place or even the Weasley's Kitchen. So all that remains for me to say thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave us a like. Drop us a comment if you know where to find that custom sticker for the Tales of Beedle the Bard, or if you've got any suggestions as to how I could decorate the back of the build. And for more Wizarding World MOC displays, please subscribe to Bricking It. Bye bye.